So you got the product idea. Maybe it's a clever new kitchen gadget, a fitness accessory, a tool for your favorite hobby, or even an invention you already prototype. You believe in it. People you've shown they love it. But how to make it? How to actually get this to the market? For many people, the answer is licensing. Licensing is the business model where you come up with a product and someone else takes it to the market. Instead of building a company, setting up manufacturing, managing logistics, and handling customer support, you license your product idea to an existing company and they pay you royalties. So let's break this down step by step. What is product licensing? At its core, licensing means giving another company the right to manufacture, market, and sell your product in exchange for an agreed upon percentage of each sale, usually 3 to 10% in royalties. You're essentially renting your intellectual property. You're a main inventor, you retain ownership, but they do the heavy lifting of bringing the product to shelves. There are two major types of licensing. Patent licensing, where your idea or invention is protected by utility or design patent, and you license the use of that patent. And then know-how or concept licensing, even without a patent, companies may license a unique idea, design, or process, especially if there is a strong market case or working prototype. So why do companies license product or products? Big companies are always looking for a new innovative product to start to sell or to stay competitive. But developing in-house ideas is expensive and time-consuming. Licensing allows them to test out market-ready concepts from independent inventors like you with much less risk. You, as inventor, bring fresh thinking. They bring the resources, money, manufacturing, marketing, and distribution, shelf space, customer base, and global reach. A real-life example. Take a look at something like the Snuggie or Squatty Potty. These weren't built by massive internal R&D teams. They were inventor created. They licensed or heavily partnered with existing brands for a mass market success. There are thousands of products you see on the shelves today, especially in categories like kitchen, tools, toys, fitness gear, or personal care. That all started as licensed idea. So, how do you get a deal, a licensing deal? Let's walk through those steps. First step is develop your idea. You don't need to be a full-time engineer or designer to license product, but your idea has to be solid. Know your market. What problem does it solve? Is your idea going to make the world better? How are you going to solve certain problems? Those are the best idea. What makes it different or better? Is it something that already exists, you're improving it, or you're making something completely new? Who is the target customer, consumer? Are you targeting specific age, gender? It's a very important question. You will need to prove that idea works. That doesn't mean spending tens of thousands of dollars building it. It could be a sketch, market analysis, 3D CAD render, or the pricier prototype, a simple one. Or a sell sheet, a one-page marketing document with the key benefits, visuals like renderings, and contact info. In our company, this is exactly where we can help. We can take your napkin sketch, your idea, brainstorm, or again, just a raw idea and turn it into professional CAD models, renderings and prototypes, even animations that make companies take notice. And then step 2, you can protect your idea or not. There is a myth that you must have a patent before approaching companies. That's not always true. It's surely helpful, but many inventors file a provisional patent application, PPA, first. It gives you 1 year of protection while keeping the cost low. During that year, you can pitch your idea under patent pending status and see if there is interest. You might also consider a design patent or simply rely on trade secrets and NDA, so non-disclosure agreements, if the product is hard to reverse engineer. And then step 3, you should build a pitch and start contacting companies. This is where you shift from creator market to deal maker. You're becoming a deal maker instead of the creator. You will read a clear, short pitch and email or call script as well. Very helpful. A product with your visual, as we already mentioned, and prepare a list of target companies that sell similar items. You are not pitching yourself. You're pitching how your product will help their business and basically make them money. Target licensing friendly companies, they are everywhere. And many in home goods, toys, outdoor stuff, kitchen, pet, personal care industries are very open to licensing new ideas. Some even have inventor submission portals. Be professional and follow up. It often takes multiple contacts to land a conversation. And now, important part. All that is past. You will send emails, you will send pitches, you're ready, and you're waiting for the answer. So what happens when a company is interested? If a company likes your idea, they will start a conversation around exclusivity. Are they the only one that will license the product? Right? They all want that. Territory. Where will they be selling? Is it only US or it's global? Term. How long will deal last? 3 or 5 years? And the most important part is money, right? Royalty rate. And typically, as I said, between 3 and 10% of wholesale price. Once agreed, this is all formalized in a licensing agreement and make sure it's reviewed by your lawyer. From there, they take over development, testing, production, and marketing. You collect your royalties per the contract terms, and that will basically be it. Now you just wait for money to hit your bank account. Pros and cons. Well, pros and cons of licensing, it's hit or miss, but pros are low financial risk, no need for upfront inventory, factories, manufacturing line, etc. Passive income, royalties keep coming as long as the product sells, and you can just focus on being creations, not operations. Companies already have sales channels. That's super helpful thing. And now we can talk about negative stuff, cons, as there's some pros, there's some cons. And again, it will depend on the product and the company that you deal with. Some of cons are harder to land a deal. If a product is really not great and is not solving nothing critical, you may not make a deal. And then other less control over branding, packaging, so everything gonna be decided by that company. Royalties are much lower than the full profit margins if you sell yourself, right? But you don't have any overhead expense. And then you have to be persistent and professional while reaching out those companies, and of course, in ongoing cooperation with them. Common myth about licensing is, as I mentioned, I need a patent first. False. That's not true. You can pitch under provisional protection, as I mentioned. It gives you protection for 1 year, or just NDA, but be careful. People think company will steal my idea. Rare, but happens. Big brands don't risk legal trouble for a 5% royalty product. Licensing, people think that licensing is only seasoned pros. False. Beginners license products every day. It's about the idea, not you or your resume. So when you should choose to license your product, Well, choose licensing if you don't want to run a full-scale business. As I mentioned, you don't want to have manufacturing line, you don't want to do any production, fulfillment, and deal with all that stuff. But they will cut down your margins. You rather create and collect royalties. So again, you lack manufacturing or marketing infrastructure or experience, and your product fits well into the existing brand catalog. So if you're making something that other companies selling similar products but not like yours, it's much easier for them just to buy you out and sell it instead of just doing it from scratch. As well, choose launching yourself if you want full control and higher profit margins. So no royalties, but you will get the full control and higher profit margins. And then you're confident in funding, manufacturing, and sales. You have to be sure that you have enough money to push this through the whole process. And you want to build a big brand for a long term. Overall, licensing is not a shortcut. It's a different path. It rewards creativity, hustle, and clarity. It's not about who you are. It's about what your product does and how well you can communicate that to a different company that needs it. In our company, as I mentioned, we help inventors in all stages, whether they're preparing for their first pitch or refining their products for a licensing expo. We know what companies want to see, and we can help you present your idea with professionalism and polish it deserves.